Hey, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a simple, easy, and dynamic heart system. So in this case, if we press number 1, we will get damaged. And if we press 2, we will heal. And if we press 3, we gain max health. And 4, we lose max health. If we also say we gain max health and then we get damaged and then we add more max health, you can see it looks like that. And if we lose max health, it looks like that, essentially. So yeah, we're gonna get started. So the reason I'm doing this is because, you see, I asked my brother to create a heart system, but somehow he always was able to find really complicated solutions, things that where you would say add heart or subtract heart, or things that are just not optimal or not so very easy to use. So in my system, all you have to do is simply just call a single node that would add or subtract health based on the input that you have, which is actually just going to be two variable inputs, two integers. So yeah, let's get started. So first of all, I'm actually gonna come over here and let's actually create a new folder, and this will be our hearts logic folder. Okay, so we're gonna just keep this for now, and let's go over here and go and search for user widget. What about widget? There we go, widget blueprint, and it's gonna be a user widget, and we'll call this one w gameplay test. Okay, and we'll create another one widget. Oh, same thing, and w heart. Oh, heart and test. Okay. So let's actually get started first with the heart. Oh, also one last thing. So over here in the texture, so you're gonna find both of these in the link in the description below of where I got them, so you can actually use them. And yeah, so let's actually get back to the widget. So let's actually add the heart first. So we're gonna add an image component, and we'll call this one a heart. And we will, yep, go for this one, heart, and let's make it, I don't know, maybe this big. Oh, whoops, this big. Okay. One last thing that we have to do is, so the heart can either be, fully healed like this, or it can be damaged, right? So we need a way to determine if it's damaged or not. Well, because we know that by default it should be healed, what we can actually do over here is create a function, and let's, I don't know, call it break me or something. And inside of it, we will talk to the heart and say set, uh, um, what's it called? Brush, set texture from brush. And here we will go for the other heart and the one that is broken. And we will simply just call it like that. And that's all we have to do. So now the hearts widget is now completed. Okay, what about, oh yeah, let's remove all of these. So what about the gameplay one? Okay, let's actually go over here, add a canvas panel. Oh, canvas panel, and we will add a horizontal box where our hearts will be actually inside of. Okay, so let's say that this one should be at 40, 40, and let's say the pivot has to be 0. You're gonna see why that happens. So once this is done like that, we're actually gonna write the logic to spawn these hearts inside of this horizontal box. So let's actually get started. Actually also call this one heart. Oh, HB hearts. All right. So let's remove all of that. Actually, we want to create a function. So let's create a function and call it set health. Okay. And we will talk to the hearts. And so here's the thing: when we want to show the health, basically we are using two variables. Okay, the current health and the max health. There is no other really way to do this, right? Maybe you could say that you have extra hearts, but that would be use that would pretty much use the same system that we have right now. So that basically means that we want two inputs inside of this function, which is called current health. Health. Let's actually say that it's input current health, and another one that's called input max health. So we'll get the input max health right now and get input current health. And let's say that we will actually, so we want to spawn the hearts, right? So that means it almost seems like we want to make a loop, okay? Because we want to spawn the hearts for however many hearts we actually do have. So let's actually go here and let's actually say to create the widget, create widget. Oh, am I doing it wrong? Oh yeah, I am doing it wrong. Create widget, and we will call it call the hearts. It's the heart one, the heart test. And let's see over here. So we're actually gonna for the loop. We're actually gonna start from one. Okay. Um, as for the heart, yeah. So what else is missing here? Yeah, I think we just need to add it to the horizontal box because we just created it. So add child. So we'll connect this. And the last thing that we actually want to do is, so what if the current health is less than the max health, right? That basically means that um, that we got damaged, right? So what we would do here is we'd say, give me this, make sure that if this value is less than the current health, then we want to show all of the health that is healthy, right? That is fully that's not damaged essentially. But if this value is bigger than that, that means, and we haven't reached the end just yet, that means there are some hearts that are damaged. So what we would do simply is say, okay, give me a branch, and remember the function that we created inside of the heart, which is break me. We will call it and say, as long as this is not the case, we will show the broken heart instead. Okay, so there is one step that's still missing, which is if we happen to say set this again, what would happen? It almost seems like we will keep adding children after child, like we will do it a lot of times, and we would have a lot of duplicate hearts, which we don't want to. So what we will do is we will talk to the component, the horizontal box component, and say clear children. So now every time we would call this function, we would clear all the children and then repopulate the children inside of here, which are the hearts that we actually want to show. So compile and save. And if you go to the designer, actually, no, not designer. If you go to the event graph and talk to this function and set the current health, let's say, to 3 and the max health to 3, and then compile, we're going to actually see that inside of the designer, it looks like that. Oh, this actually say that it should be size to content, so it looks like that. Okay, what if we set it as, I don't know, 3 and 5, for example? And if you compile, you're going to see that, oh, we have 3 healthy ones and 2 that are damaged, okay? So this is pretty much the logic that you need to do if you want to. Uh, this is the heart system logic essentially. So let's actually show it inside of the player. So I went to the player character, whatever this may be in your own project. I just went to the player character and I said, okay, let's actually create the gameplay widget. Okay, so we'll go over here and say create widget. Make sure that it is the gameplay test, the one that we just created, and we'll actually make promote a variable from it because we will use it. So let's call this w gameplay. This is the widget for the gameplay. And let's see what else. Yeah, so we also want to say to, of course, show it in the viewport. So add to viewport. And there we go. This is what happens so that we can show the widget. Oh, also one last thing. I think I forgot to unhook this. We don't want this to fire. So yeah, let's get back to here. And so assuming that we have a way to set health, assuming that we have a way to do this, we currently don't have the input health or max health. Like where are we going to take this value from? Well, of course, because we're inside of the player, I would have to assume that we have some sort of health integer, some way to track the health. So we're actually going to do that. So we will have a current, that's a lot of R's, current health, and we will make it an integer. And another one is called max health. And So we're just gonna put this to the side for now. And at the event begin play, it's typically a good thing to do is to set the current health to be of the max health, right? To set the variable of what its max value is to be, right? Instead of actually setting it over here, we just say this because if we change the max health, it just does this automatically, essentially. Okay, interesting. Yep. So now that this is done, let's actually get to saying that we want to heal, to get damaged or get healed, essentially. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, we're actually gonna get a keyboard button, just any keyboard button, and let's call this 1, and let's go for another one and call it 2. Okay, and let's say that this one is if we get damaged, okay, and this one is get healed. Okay, so now what we want to do, let's go for the get damaged first. So we will take the current health and we will subtract it by 1. And we always want to take the max value. So let's call the max node and say, because you see the health should never be a negative value, however many times we subtract it. So we want to take the max value of whatever the output of this operation is. So if this ever becomes a -1, well, we're just going to take the 0, and that would be our current health. There we go. So now that we got damaged, all we have to do is get the. Actually, we do have the current health. Whoops, not what I wanted to do. So we'll take the current health as an input and the max health as an input, and we will just call this. And just like that, we can get damaged. Okay, what about getting healed? So let's actually also get to that and see how to do that. So we want to say add by actually let's put this the bottom and say add 1, and we will take the min in this case, and the minimum here is if this ever becomes more than the max health. In this case, we just want to take the max health. So this is a good way to make sure that we never get over the value that's max health, essentially. So we'll come here and say current health is set to this result, essentially. Um, put them like that. So yeah, and finally, also same thing is that we have to add them like that. I mean, set them like that. Whoops. So we do this and this. Actually, we can also just like put both of these together, actually. But yeah, I just want to show you how this looks like. So let's make this as big as this, and let's just make things organized. So yeah, so this would be getting damaged, and this would be getting healed. So let's actually compile and save and try to see how it looks like in the game. So right now it doesn't appear on the HUD, but if I press 1 or 2, also nothing happens. So let's actually see why that happens. So I think the reason is we actually don't show it on begin play. So if we were to do this like that, perhaps it will show up. Let's actually test that out. Oh, it doesn't show up. So let's actually see why that happens. Yep. So the reason why this happened is because we don't actually have the max health set to anything. So it appeared to us that nothing is happening, but as soon as I put this as 3, for example, and let me just remove this, compile and save. If we try again, there we go. It appears. So let's actually get damaged. So when I press 1, oh, I wasn't in the game. So if I press 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, and as you can see, we do get damage. If I press 1 multiple times and then press on 2, we see that we never get into the negative value. Same thing if I were to add a lot, but then if I press 1, I don't go over the max health. So yeah, it works as intended. Okay, awesome. So now that this is done, let's actually say, what if we want to increase the max health? How would we do that? So let's actually come over here and let's take these two and add and make this one a 3 and make this one a 4, and because we want to change the max health, we'll just do just that. So because we want to increase the max health, let's actually call this one increase max health. We can have as much max health as we want. So this is why we'll simply increase it, and all we have to do is simply just call this. Yep. And what about subtracting health? Subtracting max health. Well, in this case, we would also take the max health, but so typically the player shouldn't have a max health of 0 because that simply doesn't make sense, right? So the minimum max health should be a 1. So let's actually do this and say subtract by 1 and give me the max value, and the max value should be whatever this value is, and the minimum here would be a 1. Okay? And after we're done with that, we'll say give me the max health, and that would be the value. And another interesting part, I think, is that we want to subtract the current health if it was the same as the max health, right? So before we even get to here, we want to do an operation that's before this. So here we would say, is the current health equal to the max health? And if that is the case, well, we want to subtract from the current health. And then we will still do the same logic that's over here, essentially, because we still want to subtract the max health. And just right after that, what we would do is we will call this max health and current health. This would be over here, and that's it. But there's also one more condition that we need to ask. What if we are already at the health of 1? What should happen then? Well, if we subtract the max health, the current health would be subtracted, even though we can't subtract less than 1. Let's actually show you this example. So over here, if I were to add max health, it looks like that. If I were to subtract max health, it will look like this. And if I were to subtract again, the current health is actually now 2, because if I were to add max health, you can see that the heart is empty. That means the current health, because you see, we did add a max health. We didn't get anywhere near the health value, the current health value. So if we were to subtract more and more, and one more time, you're gonna see that we are losing 1 health without losing the max health. So we have to actually fix that by coming over here and asking one last question, which is the current health equal to 0? Sorry, not current, the max health. And if that is the case, then don't do anything. If this is true, don't do anything. And yeah, pretty much we fixed this very small bug. Okay, perfect. So if we try again and we subtract max health, oh, still happening. Why is that? Is it equal to? Oh, we're supposed to say if it's equal to 1. That's my bad. So if we subtract again, so now nothing is happening, which is exactly what we want. Okay, one last thing. What if we want to say to heal as we get increase the max health? Yeah, just that. What if we want to do that? Well, in this case, we would simply just say for the current health to plus it as well. And just like that, we can heal when we add max health. So it's actually to say that we get damaged, twice, and then we add one more max health, and as you can see, looks like that. If we were to get damaged several more times, and let's say we lose max health, it will look like this. So yeah, as you can see, with very simple logic, I can with this node, I can just do all of these interactions however I want. Also, let's call this one decrease max health, and that is pretty much it. So yeah, it's a very simple system. One last thing I forgot to mention is if this video gets lots of support, in this case, I can add an extension to this system where we would have heart pieces like this, essentially. And I hope you enjoyed and learned from this video, and I will see you later. Bye bye.